Hello and welcome to the RotoWire esports show. I am Ethan Sexton, and joining me as always is DFS Chan. Chan, welcome back. We had an unexpected day off. Just couldn't quite get our schedules to line up yesterday. It was my fault really, but welcome back. It's good to be here, and we're going to be talking about League again.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So hey, first let's take a look back at today's slate. We didn't talk about it at all, obviously, because we didn't do the pod yesterday. I ended up going with JDG IG double underdog, which was half good, half bad. How'd you end up doing today?
Yeah, I had that almost the exact same stacks. So obviously that didn't pan out. But I also had Nongshim and I think it was EDG. So that cashed a little bit. But yeah, you had to have JDG, and then the LPL teams, fared well. So that's how it mostly goes. But Nongshim, I think they have a very good bright future ahead of them in the split. Obviously now they're 2-0 in their series in the split. So they might be in the middle of the tier. They might get one of the last two spots of the playoffs for the LCK. So they look really good. And on the LPL side, I really liked JDG's dominance over Top Esports. And I mentioned this in the Discord channel, but the new top laner for Top Esports, not very impressed with him. So we'll see if they go back to 369 or if they stick with Cheng Tian or whatever they do. So we'll see what they do. But JDG looks really good and EDG looks solid. I think we kind of were on a recency bias when IG played well in the last series in their last game, but EDG is that they've been solid. So I'm afraid that they might take one of the top 4 spots this split again. So we'll see.
Yeah, for me yesterday building lineups, it was just that I thought JDG, especially JDG, was way too cheap in that matchup. Yes, Top Esports are an awesome team, but so are JDG, and I just thought they were way underpriced yesterday. In hindsight, I wish I would have just played them with a favorite because I definitely could have because they were so cheap. But I liked IG's. It was kind of the same deal for IG where I thought they were cheap as well. So I short stacked them and went for the double underdog. Didn't work out. I mean, in the tournament I was in, JDG Genji double mid was the winner. And I was not going to land on Genji. I thought that they would win, but they, as we've talked about previously, they don't always score the best. So I wasn't on them at all. So I wouldn't have had the best combination either way. So no big deal, I guess. But let's jump on into tomorrow and take a look at the 4-gamer for the Sunday slate. So things kick off with KT versus Damwon. Any thoughts on this matchup? I mean, overall, this slate to me at first glance feels very chalky. Really not a huge fan of any of the underdogs, but we can see if you agree or feel differently as we go through. But this first matchup, pretty Damwon heavy in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going to have any KT, so Damwon's probably, this is what I mentioned. I'll keep it short. I think Damwon's going to win 2-0. They looked very solid in their game against T1. So obviously that was a marquee matchup, and I thought T1 was going to win that series, but Damwon ended up winning. And they looked very solid, even though they were coming off of the MSI. So this could be like a letdown game or a trap game, but I don't know. I feel like they would have let down against T1. So I think they're on the mission, and I think they are pissed off because they lost to RNG in the MSI finals, and I think they might just cruise along undefeated in the split. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, and I don't think KT is the team that will give them a bump on the road. So I think it's going to be 2-0 Damwon Gaming.
No, I agree with you there. Any concern about if you want to go to Damwon? Do you think they're too expensive and maybe don't score well enough that they're kind of in a void on the slate, or would you feel pretty comfortable playing them?
Just given the other teams on the slate, I probably will have one lineup with Damwon. I don't think Damwon is my priority to say. I think I like the LPL teams much better. And I also actually like the other LCK matchup better than this game. So even though obviously Damwon is the heavy favorite and they're mostly likely gonna win, like you said, I don't know if KT matches well or speeds up the pace of Damwon. So I think Damwon's just gonna take care of business tomorrow and score low. So I like that DRX versus Africa Freaks other LCK matchup. That I think their game pace will be better than this KT versus Damwon.
Yeah, well, since you brought them up, let's jump right to that series as well. DRX and Africa, both kind of like mid-level teams, can't really overcome the best teams in Korea, but usually can take care of business against some of the weaker teams. Do you have a lean on this matchup? I mean, for me, I like that Leo came in for Bang for Africa earlier in the week. I think that'll end up in the long run benefiting them. I still don't love that roster, but I don't know. It's kind of a tough one to call because I don't really love either team, So for me, if I was going to play the series, it might just end up being on the Africa side because they're cheaper.
Yeah, I'm looking at the goal difference at 15-minute metric because now that we have some data to go off of, each team played three games, KT and Africa. Looks like KT Roaster had very good goal difference at 15 minutes. They actually have the highest goal difference at 15-minute metric right now so far in the split at 1898. Compared to Africa's 429. They're both positive, but I don't know. Like that kind of tells me that KT was having a good game in terms of generating gold and getting resources for their team. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. But also looking at the roster, I mean, Africa Freaks roster doesn't really scare me that much.
No.
I like Doran on KT a lot. So yeah, I mean, I think I have KT winning this, but
Chan,
yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt it, but Africa are playing DRX.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
KT's
are going to get crushed by Damwon.
I am so sorry. Okay,
no, you're fine. But do you feel the same way about DRX against Africa, or would you lean more Africa in this matchup? For me, it's a tough one to call, but like I said, I think just because Africa are a little bit cheaper, if I was going to play that series, that might be where I ended up.
Yeah, DRX is dead last in goal difference. I agree with that. I think I have Africa winning in that one. So.
Okay, yeah. Any Africa players that you would target specifically? I mean, for me, I usually like to, if I'm going to play Africa, which is pretty rare, I always like to start with Keen because I think he's awesome.
Yeah, Keen won the player of the match last series in their last series, so I would lean Keen, and then Dread had the highest kill participation percentage. So I go with that top lane and the jungler, Keen and Dread. So that's where I would lean.
Okay, yeah, I think I agree with that as well. Leo looked pretty good in their first series, but he's not like a superstar AD carry, so I think you could take him or leave him. Yeah, let's jump over to the first LPL series. So it's LGD versus Ultra Prime. Both teams lost their opening series, but I think LGD looked pretty good in their loss, as we discussed. And Ultra Prime didn't look terrible, but I think LGD are priced as the favorites, and I think that's deservingly so.
Yeah, and yeah, I love LGD. I love, like you mentioned this last time, LGD played Shadow. Shadow looked very good, aggressive, and I think this meta fits him really well because he used to play a lot of these champs back even when they were not OP or were in the meta. So I like him. How he looked with the team at LGD, and I think it's only going to get better. Ultra Prime, like you said, looked decent in the first game, I think, and before they got behind a lot throughout the whole series, the rest of the series. But yeah, I have LGD winning this 2-1. But yeah, I love Shadow, and let's see, I love ZA, the mid laner. So I think that's gonna be my two go-to if I were to stack LGD, which I will because they tend to score it well too. So.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that. I think I definitely favor LGD too, and probably won't play any Ultra Prime. But I would point out I think that Ultra Prime are probably after Afrika the best underdog on the slate. So if people really don't want to play Afrika but they need an underdog, I think Ultra Prime has a chance. But I definitely do lean LGD. I think Zhao Caobao looked pretty solid actually in the FPX series. And it was no small task, up against Doinby. So I think that there's some ability on this team, but I do get worried. We talked about last time, I really don't like SMLZ at all. I think that holds them back. And then Hacker is kind of meh, they're just kind of a meh team. And I think LGD looked much better in their loss than Ultra Prime did. Although in fairness, Ultra Prime was playing FPX. So I definitely lean LGD as well. And I think Shadow, I'm with you. Shadow is a great place to start your lineups if you're going LGD. So the last series of the day, WE versus Thunder Talk. I think this is pretty clear 2-0 for WE in my opinion. Thunder Talk come in, same four guys as their first game in Langji, Xiaopeng, Sam D, and Patch, but then they're bringing in Ye in the mid lane. He comes from the LDL. This will be his first appearance in the LPL. I don't think it's enough to overcome WE, who I thought looked really great on Friday against Suning. The game they dropped, it was kind of a throw. They were winning, and then Mole got kind of hyped up on set a little bit and went for some pretty bad dives and made a couple bad plays, and Suning got back in. So I think this looks like a pretty clear-cut 2-0 for me. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel the same way. And also, Captain, who started at mid last game for Thunder Talk TT, I actually honestly thought that Captain, was the best mid laner on this roster. Yeah. So I think he, like you said, come from the LDL. I think maybe a downgrade in my opinion. I think they're trying, new things, obviously, to kind of, just find the right combination for the team. But I don't like that roster change, actually. Even I think that decreases their chance of upsetting Team WE. So I have Team WE winning 2-0. But, anything can happen. But, it's that ownership on TT will be very low. So if you are in multi-GPP, it's a consideration because Thunder Talk actually does play fast. If they somehow pull off an upset, they will score well, in my opinion, because Team WE also tends to score well. So, yeah, that would be a good GPP option. But, just if you are looking at, just the prediction standpoint, I have the Team WE most likely win 2-0.
Yep, I'm with you on that one, man. For me, I think the weak part of WE is still going to be the mid lane. We talked about that Mole is an upgrade over Shanks, we think, but not like a huge upgrade. So I still kind of feel like that mid lane spot is going to be the weakness for WE, but I don't think that a rookie coming up from the LDL, a guy who's not hyped up at all or anything like that is going to be the one that really can push Mole here. I think Mole will have a more difficult time in some upcoming matchups against the better mid laners in the league, but I think for tomorrow, they're in a great spot.
Yeah, and continuing from our last discussion about Team WE, who used to be known as Jumeng, Elk, now he's known as Elk. He's the AD carry for Team WE, and he looked very good. He looks more, he looked much better and comfortable, for Team WE last game. So I like his chances throughout the split. And obviously that increases Team WE's chances. So I think that they'll easily take care of business tomorrow.
I think so too. So if we're looking at the big favorites, WE, Damwon, LGD, do you have one that you really want to prioritize over the others? Or are you kind of, for me, I think it's the two LPL teams. I think you agree. I think you said as much already, but between WE and LGD, do you really have prioritized one over the other?
That's a tough one.
I think so too. Yeah. I think, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I think the tiebreaker for me, I think they can both score really well. So I'm not I wouldn't be too hesitant to use either team, depending on how people feel that are watching. If you have a strong lean for one of those teams over the other, I wouldn't feel uncomfortable using them. I think the tiebreaker for me is I think WE are way more likely to sweep. I wouldn't be surprised if LGD got the sweep, but I think WE is almost a certainty to sweep, in my opinion. And I think if you long stack and you get a 2-0 where they score well and you get 4 guys with the games not played bonus, I think that might be the difference maker between WE and LGD tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think you can go wrong with either team, but personally, I like Team WE a lot. I like their chances tomorrow, even after having played one game in the split. Yep. With Jumeng and Mole. I think Mole's gonna play better, in my opinion. He was more of a playmaker for V5 before, and now he's gonna be integrated into the team more now that he has one game under his belt. So I like Team WE, and I just looking at the matchup too. I like that they're gonna go up against the Thunder Talk Gaming, and they have the highest combined kills per minute so far in the split. I think that kind of comes from the fact that they played against JD Gaming, and JD Gaming has been playing fast this split so far. But as you saw today, I like Team WE's chances just based on the matchup and also the fact that Mole is now kind of integrated into the team. So.
Yep, I think I agree with that there. We went a little fast today, guys, but it's a chalky slate. I made us later than we were supposed to start, and Chan's going to a Reds game, so we got to kind of get out of here a little quicker today. But yeah, I think it's kind of a chalky slate. But hopefully, if you can find a few ways to differentiate, that could maybe be to your advantage. Might be a good cash game slate, honestly, because of all the chalkiness as well. So. Chan, anything else you wanted to bring up before we go today?
No, I think that's it. Stack LPL teams again. It looks like, the LPL teams have been, back on their feet of scoring very well, much, higher kills and more bloody games in the LPL compared to LCK. So, that's where I would lean.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. If for those out there, if you've liked this video, please, give us a like and subscribe to the RotoWire channel. Our plan is to do these every single day. Yesterday we just couldn't make it work with our schedules, but our intention is to do these every day. So subscribe to the channel so you're always able to see these when they happen. If you want to check out the RotoWire website, rotowire.com/try, free 10-day trial, no credit card required. And then when you're on your trial, you can go to rotowire.com/chat. And you can join in on our Discord where we're in there talking League of Legends, with people. Yesterday it was great because we didn't do a video, and Chan was able to get in there and drop some of his thoughts for the slate and some important stats and things to look at. So we're in there talking, so check those things out. Like I said, it's a free 10-day trial. You don't even have to put your credit card in, so you don't have to remember to cancel it, which is a nice feature. So feel free to check that out. There's some links down below on the YouTube page here that'll take you right to those things. Chan, we'll see how it goes, man. It's going to be chalky, but probably something will come in to screw up my lineup. So we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Ethan.
All right, catch you tomorrow, man.